Alright, we're back. Another one. Another day. Another grind. Another part of my soul lost to the... what's the word? Entropy. That is Overwatch competitive. Which I bloody love, for the record. Don't think I've been as addicted to a game like this in a long time. It's real fun, real renaissance. I was a stat recently, it was like 60% of all gaming has been happening on games older than 6 years. Which just goes to show gaming has hit that sort of point where the releases don't really matter. It's how well supported, or at least that's what I'm thinking. Anyway, back to why I am here and what I'm doing. Decided to play a little bit of CASS. I feel like there's been a need for me to sort of extend the hit scan repertoire. I was working on a bit of strafing, more with CASS, and I've realised how maybe sometimes my aim isn't the problem, and it's actually my movement in relation to aim that's caused me so many mess-ups. So that's something that I'm trying to work on at the moment, is just sort of syncing my movement with the aim, syncing the strafes, making sure that I'm not giving away free shots on me while also compromising my own aim, which is definitely something I've been doing. And I feel like it's very easy to focus on one thing in this game. You know, what is my pure unfiltered aim like? Like you're playing sort of those arcade games where you just move around and all you have to do is shoot. That's how I've been approaching aim. What actually in control of the movement means that those two need to work in tandem. So less of a focus on mouse control and more of a focus on movement. And how that syncs up, which yeah, it's been enjoyable. Certainly I had a good day of games with CASS. In total I think I went 6 and 8. Not all CASS games, but yeah, relatively happy with the play. A few key mistakes, a few silly losses here and there, a few games where I did go a bit missing, but that happens. And I've noticed that seems to be happening a little bit more, which could coincide with my slightly increased lack of sobriety, should we say? Dear God, I needed some water. I feel like I'm coming down with something now. But not only was the day relatively pleasing despite the overall loss record, it was also one of the last days of the new season, or the old season now, nearly. Season 9 will be coming to an end in just a couple of days. And it's been a really, really good season. Undoubtedly the most I've ever played competitive Overwatch by some distance. Probably about twice what I've played it before. And I think that is reflective of what a great job the developers are doing at the moment, and the good way that they're taking it. And in light of that, you know, the director's take came out. I just had a few things I wanted to round down off of that. So it sounds like Sombra is going to be getting a nerf to the virus by 10 damage or something over time, which honestly it's very negligible. Slightly surprised at it, if I'm honest, because Sombra's fine. I know she can feel very impressive, but the win rates would suggest actually if anything she's underpowered. So that's fine, but you know, not really important. Trace is going to get a big nerf though, for sure. They haven't specified exactly what it is. They've said they're going to make her more punishable and require more precision, which feels like to me a spread nerf and probably like a health or recall nerf or potentially blink nerf. One of these things is going to get a little bit hit. Maybe they'll change the hitbox. I doubt it for that one. I think that's probably more work than it would need to be, supposed to just lowering health in places. But certainly I think that's on the way. And then ball rework. A big ball rework. Now at this stage obviously it's way too early to make any assumptions, but with what they've said, reactive shields, that's a really strong round for me. I'm really pleased with the way that one's gone. Just watching it back, yeah, happy with that. 15-0. Yeah, I feel like, what do they say? Reactive shields over health is now going to go to teammates, so ball will have a little bit more synergy with the team. That is going to be something I think would be really strong. We'll see how that goes, but yeah, I could see ball diving on the back line with a Genji and Tracer and then both getting over health. Yeah, that's going to be a fun time for the team. So that could work out really, really well for ball players. Season 10 may be the year of the ball. Long overdue, in fairness to them. All ball players, slightly crazy people. you'd have to be at this stage to play a character so routinely ignored. But yeah, sounds like it might be your time to shine, so good news if you like ball. Again, why I need to keep working on CASS, potentially, just to have that sort of counterplay. Talk about Junker Queen's Carnage, which is her axe. Some sort of buff there, which I think is going to be okay. I don't think she's too oppressive at the moment. I think that's probably in line with a few of the other changes that she might need, but I think she's still got a decent-ish win ratio generally. So we'll see how that one shades up. I'm sure it's not going to be too substantial. And then Reinhardt, they're buffing that in some way, shape or form, which, you know, that could go 6 different ways, so we'll see what they say with that. But Reinhardt desperately needs some love. So yeah, that's good for me. And then of course Venture will be out, which I'm quite excited for. They have talked about making some changes, even on Venture's kit, suggesting it's going to be a nerf, which is a little bit surprising to me, but we'll see how they come out and sort of what level they're at when they are. And then lastly, and I think my favourite part of all this, and apologies if this is triggering, but Moira, Lucio and Illari are all taking power from one part of their kit into another, is what they've said. And it's very obvious that they're suggesting the damage that they're going to be doing will be lower killing power, lower dueling power, lower, but likely the healing effects, and indeed the benefit for the whole team that they provide will be increased. They gave the example of Illari's reload time, recharge time, whatever you want to call it, going slightly down in favour of her healing on her right click, going up, which I don't feel like that's going to be hugely beneficial for Illari the way she plays, to be quite candid, but she's an odd character. They need to figure out what they want her to do. Oh, bad ult there. Or bad beat, one of the two. I think probably bad ult from me is the answer, but here we are. So yeah, that sounds like a real positive change. It sounds like Season 10 is going to be a good one to get stuck into, and certainly if I'm at the same level of interest I am with this now, well, then that'll probably be me for a hot minute. Locked in on this game. I mean, Helldivers is just sat there doing nothing, and I have absolutely zero interest in playing it whilst I'm enjoying Overwatch as much as I am. It just would be I literally feel like every time I'm playing a game that isn't Overwatch, I'm wasting my time because I just want to get better at Overwatch, which I think is a surefire sign of addiction, but that's what we are. I've only just noticed that I added one singular kill in the whole of the defense through point 1 and point 2. We've had a shocking defense. I remember thinking what was going wrong here. Yeah, so Tank's suggesting that there's no heals. I'm going in with a comment. Think better of it. Don't want to start some shit. Can't be bothered with it. Really generally fine. It never goes the way you want it to when you say something in chat. So I'll stick with the CASS. I'm just watching this back, and I'm like, even though I'm playing in the game, trying to be a lot more mindful of cover, trying to keep the strace going, trying to avoid holding W, I can still see him doing it a lot more than I would have thought I was during the time. That is the problem when you watch replays. You see everything bad. It's like watching. It's like looking in the mirror after a big night out in like the brightest light imaginable. Okay, that's quite nice. We'll take that. Come on, get the echo. Get the echo, and I'm happy. That'll do. That'll do. Really? Okay. Still a tendency from me to go a little bit missing at points with my aim, but reasons to be positive here. Plenty of reasons to be positive here, and I do think whilst CASS is pretty boring in a lot of ways, there is a huge satisfaction I find out of playing him well. Just from the mechanical side of things, landing those big red dings, good feeling, real good feeling. Lucky not to get a stick there, really. So yeah, I think 6 and 8, obviously, that's a terrible roll. Yeah, that's going to get me killed. 6 and 8, obviously not perfect, but enough to be positive about. I still feel confident that I'm learning. You know, I haven't plateaued. There's not been a point where I'm like, I don't know where I'm going wrong, which should be a real issue. There's plenty of places I'm going wrong. Yeah, Tracer switch here was not the one. Not the one. Don't know where I'm going to that. Need to be going to cover. Not the character. So I've added what, 5 kills and 6 deaths, 5 limbs and 6 deaths. That's not very good. That's a bit of a shame. Oh well. Hopefully I can get that fixed in the next round. Yeah, back to CASS. Back to Big Earls. We still managed to cut out a bit more time than they did on us, which is good news. But by no means is this game won at this stage. I've seen a lot of games recently like this where the defense just can't do anything, and they suddenly find themselves nearly with either a complete cap or sometimes a complete cap in overtime from like 0.1 to 3. Never a fun feeling on the defense side, just like not be able to win one fight no matter what the circumstance. Anna is absolutely ratting for her life right now. Shame I haven't got the mobility to get that. One more shot on her, that would have been it. That's a shame. So there's, you know, like, obviously you're not gonna land every shot, but I can see that there's a bit more there, a bit more awareness I could have. I'm very happy generally with the way I'm shooting. Actually, like, it's not perfect. By no means is my aim perfect. There's a lot more improvements that could be had, but relatively, it's going to be better for me to spend more time focusing on this movement, which is what I was trying to do here. And this is where CASS is so strong. Playing that front line, surviving, generally being real annoying. Forced out an Anna ult on that one. That's good news for us. Keep him pretty dirty shot, I must say. Still, pretty great defense, provided the team does a good job here. We're okay. We're okay. Doesn't look like there's much left to go. We could have a good, you know, we've got a Zen ult. Okay, the team's losing now. We've got a Zen ult to play with. I need to get capped. I should have got capped, really, watching my movement back. I need to be more aware of the Widow spots if I'm playing against a Widow. Ah, God, again, watching the daylight is can be a hard watch sometimes. But I've definitely, even though sometimes I feel like I haven't improved that much, I noticeably have, because when I try and play a role like, I don't know, support, which I'm not usually playing, I genuinely am so much worse comparatively than I would be with DPS, whereas I don't know if I'm the only one who's had this experience, but in the old days I just play solo. Or not solo with my friends, and you might have one guy who wants to play, like, I don't know, Zen every match, or another person who wants to play Baptiste, or you just pick around it. And weirdly, all your characters, you've got better characters of course, but your characters feel generally of a sort of level. I think that's sort of indicative that you've got like that base level skill, but you haven't really focused and learnt the specifics of each class and what you need to do. But gone are those days. If I play support, I'm going to have a worse time. There's no question about it. It's much harder for me to do stuff, and just my instincts with it are just dead wrong. Whereas again, before, it would just about work out okay. You know, you could get away with it. Sometimes you play something like Zarya and you'd absolutely murder and you think you're actually a really good Zarya, but no, you're just a really good Zarya at that level where people consistently shoot the bubble and make the basic mistakes that are going to get them killed. I fully thought he was in that corner there. Thankfully for me, it doesn't go very far. Can I survive? Oh yeah. This movement, very happy with. Very happy. Probably shouldn't be pushing for the tank there. Yeah, definitely shouldn't be dropping down. I've killed myself. Can I get the Anna? Yeah, okay. We'll take getting the Anna, really. Okay, so we still haven't cracked this defense. I know that there was a suggestion that it's the supports, but yeah, he's begging for no Zen. I just don't feel like that's necessarily the problem. Although he's not covering himself in glory there, and of course he is playing Sombra. It is what, Sombra Widow, or what, Sombra Tracer into Zen. Yeah, that's pretty Pretty hard to argue that's the right thing to do. So now we're stuck in that awkward position where, look, you know, at this stage, it's gone well past they probably would have hoped for the best case scenario. We desperately need to stop them. But that desperateness can force us into making more and more mistakes. So you have to be careful, and I certainly think that's why they've gotten as far as they have, is that we keep making these mistakes, because we are panicking. I mean, earlier that Zen ult wasn't very, very good, and everything else. So in the end, okay, what was quite a strong lead. Now, I would argue we're probably, I mean, I think 3-minute 25, that distance, that's quite a hard ask, really, you know. It doesn't really matter about the first 2 minutes after all, but then after that, you know, even if we win every single fight, we're still going to be finishing this game off in overtime, which is the challenge. You know, I switched to Sojourn. I've forgotten her name here just purely because I know I'm going to need to get that high ground, and there's no one else challenging it. Again, you know, Big L's is the spot on this map. You really need to have something that is going to be an answer for Big L's position. Until you do, you're going to lose. But that's something that Sojourn obviously has massively over the CASS, that vertical mobility, and it makes such a difference. We've got them in a great position here. They've completely caught us. The worst life even Petal I've seen in some time. Kind of unlucky, really, all things considered. I can see what he was going for. That's an annoying escape, but there's Sombra. I'll take the Ash instead. And that is like that would obviously not be possible with CASS. I can just decide, okay, Ash has got to die, push that up, and get them. So that is the big advantage. I haven't seen that Sombra in a hot minute. What's she doing? Yeah, I don't know. No clue. No clue. Malgo just caused the most delicious target for... so close. John... God, I really am struggling with the names today. I've got some bad brain fog. Yeah, way too far out. Should be playing for that room on the right side with the Mega. That would have been the right place to be. Thankfully, the team's cooking. All the way through this attack, actually. Wherever I make a mistake, team cooks. Oh, that's the sound of a Sombra somewhere, isn't it? Oh, just. Yeah, by all means, bring him up to us. So she's about. It is hard to get out of this choke. I do think they need to rethink the way the map's sort of laid out on this one, where they have to where the defenders have to get out of their spawn. You've got that option, or they have to take a long route and then come through an equally narrow choke. There's 3 chokes, all equally narrow, all equally problematic to try and attack out of or defend out of. Okay, so 30 seconds. What a stormy attack that is. Very happy. Fully thought we were going to throw. Not the best slide. But this is okay. This is okay. I can take this. As long as I don't get too much focus. We've got the Zen ult. Got to catch the Kiri. Oh. There's a Ben? There's the Ben in the back. Now we're in that awkward spot. This is the point where you think we've lost this. Get the Sombra. Happy enough with that. Play in and out of the aggro. Have to reload is a problem. Try to just decide to ignore the trace and just try and get the Malgra out. Get him. And that's gonna be game. Just that last fight could have gone really either way, and that would have been it. And I do feel like we should have been a lot more comfortable, but that's what happens when you have such a bad defense. In the end, decent game, but yeah, 6 and 8, not the best 8 games, so improvements to be had, but just about kept my place in plat through all, which I'll take.
Play of the game.
Meteor strike!